I said, how you feel about that jersey retirement? You think it's necessary?
Personally, I think it is because Colorado really hasn't been too much in the last decade when it comes to being like actually relevant.
Right.
And so with Shedeur being there, bro, and Travis Hunter being there, and everything they've done from Jackson State going into Colorado, here's the thing that's really a big deal whenever it comes to them getting that jersey retirement. It's what not only they've done for the team, what they've done for the community.
Right.
They brought so many fans there that as a result, what's happening is more money is coming to Boulder, Colorado in general.
Right. Everybody.
So because that money revenue that they're bringing, I think that's like such a big deal when it comes to the respect that you actually have to give them when it comes to that retirement, like retiring their jersey. Because now they've kind of considered themselves, or actually established themselves as like genuine legends to the community. And so that's a little bit different versus just talking about them just as a football player. Now I get it with Travis Hunter, him winning the Heisman. You know what I mean? That's a different type of ball game when it comes to, he most definitely needs to get his jersey retired. But whenever it comes to like Shedeur, if it wasn't for Shedeur, Travis Hunter numbers wouldn't be there at Colorado like that. Because you still got to have somebody to throw him the ball.
Facts.
So that's the way I see it.
And those critical moments.
Nah, for real.
No, 100%. I think impact is the big one.
Uh-huh.
I think it's about impact. And that's what they're recognizing. Is that, hey, when somebody gets the ceremonial decoration like getting your jersey retired, it's because you had a great impact. You know? Yeah. And in such a short period of time, it seems like it's a little premature. But if you think about, to your point, the city, the energy, the momentum, and the sustainability of that energy and momentum, once they move on, why wait? Okay? This is probably something that will happen eventually. But to the point of Deion, why wait? Give them their flowers right now. Yeah, give them their flowers right now. You know what I mean?
And you know what? And on top of that, bro, the one thing that I was looking at, it's not like it was Deion that necessarily suggested his jersey retirement. I believe that comes from whoever is in charge of Colorado's athletics in general. They're the ones that's advised that. It wasn't Deion, so I feel like that's another thing that actually speaks volumes to how respected they are in that community in general.
I feel.
So yeah, I like it. Sure. Actually, I love it.
Now, Shedeur had a workout with New York. Oh, how you feel about that?
You said what?
Shedeur got a workout over at New York Giants. What you think going on with them? You think they seriously considering them, or they just playing around?
I think it's one of those things you still got to see. You got to see if you're making for sure the right decision to either pass up on him or actually take him. And I think that's a big deal to them.
I think so too.
I mean, granted, now since you picked up Jameis, you know what I'm saying? Now since you picked up Russ, it's not necessarily a necessity to be able to pick up Shedeur. But if you think that he really is that dog, you got to go ahead and do what you got to do. Right. And so here's the thing that's going to be interesting about that. Imagine them getting Shedeur in this private workout, and he actually does his thing really good. That's going to be very hard for him to pass up on Shedeur because you can't unsee his moxie, the way he moves, his skill set is going to be similar to Tom Brady because Tom Brady taught his mechanics.
And his demeanor.
And his demeanor.
Composure.
That composure, yes.
No, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. You gotta warm this up. I think, man, why not? Like, you got an opportunity to pass up on a serious talent. But who else? Or who else?
So maybe I'll do Carter.
Talent up there, right? So, yeah, I don't blame them for betting out vetting out everybody. But that's a tough decision. That's a tough decision that can haunt you for the next decade. And the thing about it is, they got Russ, they got Jameis, but they're not the future. You know what I mean? They're not the future. They're right now. And so, as a New York Giants trying to rebuild a dynasty, get that name back, get that brand up and going, get the fan base back excited, why not take some time to not only solidify it right now, because it was crazy that Jameis and Russ was already on the market, and the future. Why not?
Yeah.
Now you're sitting pretty at the most important position on the football field for the next 5 years at least, right? You cool. Everybody gonna worry about quarterback problem. You got 3 deep. You got 2 guys that can win you some games, right? They're streaky, but as soon as they streak start to put the other one in, and then you got another guy that can develop for the next season or 2 without the pressure of getting in there and getting battered and bruised, get strong, get faster, get more aware, get more accurate, and then come out and then carry that dynasty for the next 10 years. While you got a Malik Neighbors.
Man.
While you got some other young gunners. You feel me? Nothing to lose.
That's the thing that's interesting because you could be preparing literally, like you said, for the next decade, which is a big deal. Because they, it's easy to think that, oh yeah, you can just find a quarterback. That's not always necessarily the case.
Right. Yes, sir.
But yeah, it's not necessarily the case to just think you can just find a quarterback. And a quarterback like Shedeur, I feel like it's worth the investment, in my opinion.
I think so too.
And the reason why it's worth the investment is the adversity that he's faced. The adversity that he's faced when it comes to being on a program that wasn't too much at Jackson State.
Yep.
Winning the conference championship there.
Yep.
Going to a team like Colorado where they didn't have too much. Granted, he didn't be able to win the Big 12 championship, but they were able to get better as the seasons go on.
Fact.
That's going to be the same thing in the NFL. It's not like you're going to go to the NFL and you're just going to win the Super Bowl in the first year.
Right.
It didn't always happen like that.
No.
Sometimes it takes development, chemistry, changing the culture. That's what he's there for. That's what he does. So if you're looking for a quarterback in the long haul, that's the investment. And on top of that, he's going to be in New York. We all know that media is going to be heavy. We already know that fan base is going to be tough.
That's a big.
You know what I mean? You need somebody that's going to be tough that can be able to handle that. That can be able to make the organization feel safe.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's what you get in Shedeur.
I think so too. I think so too. I think it's a confident pick, but is it a necessary pick? You know what I mean? That's the only question. Is it necessary? I think for them and what they're trying to do, right? The big picture, like you said about the New York market. I think for them, Shedeur affords a greater advantage, a greater benefit over the other top talents, either him or Travis.
Yeah.
I don't think they can go wrong either way. I think New York goes Shedeur or Travis. Abdul Carter, I don't know if that moves the needle. I think, your defense got a little stronger, but I'm like, are they one defensive end away from being contenders? I don't think so. I think you get Abdul Carter, you got to think strategy for next year and continue to build.
Yes.
And okay, he comes in, has a great season. Myles Garrett has great seasons on Cleveland. Cleveland don't move the needle.
Yeah.
So you can have a great talent, but are they going to move the needle? And I think New York, because of the market and the expectation that come with that market, they need a needle mover. And so I think that limits, to me, in their perspective of what they should value a little more than just athletic ability and talent able to make plays. It's like, hey, consider who you are.
Yes.
And where you're trying to go and what the expectations are for you, and then make that decision. So, I don't know. It's going to be tough. What about Brock? You think they need to pay Brock Purdy?
Yeah, I was about to say, you have 2 solid receivers, one on the left, one on the right side that's athletic as they are. That's a very dangerous offense to come on, no matter who's in the situation at quarterback. But, like you said, you really can't go wrong with either one.
You can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. Oh, shit, left. What you think about the 49ers?
You said the 49ers?
Yeah.
What you say?
What you think about Brock Purdy and the 49ers? They should pay him?
Well, same thing I've been saying. I don't think that you can necessarily you just can't find quarterbacks just anywhere. I mean, whenever you think about like how Brock Purdy has really helped that offense, has helped that team in general in the last few years, I mean, hey, it's a quarterback market in the NFL. You got to pay him because here's the thing. You're going to regress a whole lot if you decide to move on from him and try to find a quarterback. That's something that's kind of tough to me. He's one of those quarterbacks that's extremely efficient. And so efficient quarterbacks is something that you just can't really can't pass upon. Pay that boy. You know what I mean? Well, really, pay the man.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about that one.
I agree wholeheartedly. I agree wholeheartedly, yeah. Pay that man.
Yeah.
You know, pay him. You know, Brock
that's air.
Brock Purdy can get the job done, and he deserves to be compensated. I don't really like the culture of the NFL and why they're so delayed. Like, hey, you know, dangle the carrot. You know, it's really not even exchange yet. It's kind of like when stores go no bargain. You know what I mean? No bargain, no hassle pricing. This is the price. It's a wrap, right? It'd be nice if the league kind of gets to that point.
Yeah.
Where it's no bargain. You know what I mean? Like, hey, are you worth it? Did you hit these numbers? And if you hit these numbers, this is where your projected compensation is going to be. Make it plain in the contract. So we don't have to have all this back and forth. The guy's efficient. He gets the job done. It's hard to find a guy that's efficient that can get the job done. You got to pay him.
And on top of that,
move on. Pay him and move on and focus on another area of the team that you need to put more attention on. Sew him up. Move on.
There's so many athletes that are coming out of college that they could use, especially not having a Debo, probably needing to kind of like help aid Christian McCaffrey when it comes to more athleticism on offense. You already got a quarterback that knows the system. Put some more pieces around them. Thanks. See what happens.
Thanks.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So that's the move that I feel like they should do. Go ahead and pay them and then go ahead and invest. Because the thing is, if you keep regressing every single time, you're just going to put yourself in a loop where you're going to have to start all over every single time. Okay, we're looking for a quarterback. 2 or 3 years go by. Should we pay them? Let's go to the next quarterback. Meanwhile, Christian McCaffrey's getting a little bit older. The other athletes, they're getting in season, they're getting in their prime, but you're wasting their prime seasons because you don't want to build.
Facts.
And that's something that I think is huge.
I agree with you. I agree fully.
Hit one of them locals.
What about Aaron Rodgers, man? We keep talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
You think they should be rushing him on taking his time to decide to retire, or
his best move is going to be his last move?
It's going to be what?
Well, yeah, his best move.
Yeah,
it's going to have to be his last move, meaning like this is the last run.
Right. So yeah.
So when it comes to patience, I don't blame him being patient. What, he's 40, 41?
Something like that.
I think it's going to be one of those things where, okay, the draft is in what, I believe 7 days now. He's going to have to figure out, okay, who do y'all really want? It kind of seems like he's holding 2 teams hostage, low-key. And I don't like that from a fan. But I respect him as a man when it comes to what he's doing.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, if I'm 40, 41, and I know this is my last run, and I was with an organization that wants to move on from me, and now I'm at the next organization, the one thing that I'm probably going to have in the back of my ear is, are y'all still going to draft a quarterback, or y'all truly going to build around me? Because I'm going to give you my all, but I want to make sure that y'all are going to give me y'all's all.
Right.
To really just invest in me and allow for me to do my thing. And so I think about Pittsburgh, and I know it's like, hey, Pittsburgh, I love what you got. I even, threw some passes with DK Metcalf to see what's going on. But, like, I really want to see if y'all going to invest in me because I don't want to commit. And then y'all, kind of put me in a situation like Michael Penix Jr. and what's that quarterback that came from Washington that went to Atlanta? Kirk Cousins.
Right.
I don't want to be in that situation. Right. I really want to be the man of your organization because I'm telling you, If you give me a chance, I can get you to that Super
Right.
Bowl. I know y'all got the talent,
I think he
but
got
I
it.
want y'all to invest in me. So in that case, I can see why he's taking his time, and he's probably going to make his official decision probably after the draft to really see how things. And I still say this about Kawhi. If you enjoy a Michael Jordan style of play, a Kobe Bryant style of play,
Right.
then you can truly appreciate a Kawhi Leonard because he's like a little bit of both, in my opinion. He's a mid-range specialist.
Yep.
An excellent defender. Can really score from anywhere.
Yep.
But he also knows how to get all his teammates involved, bro. That's another thing.
Big time. I agree. I think there's probably a lot of people who are speculating why the Clippers are so patient. But think about the names you just mentioned. Kobe, Mike. Those are the greats.
Yep.
And if you have an opportunity to be patient with the greats, why not? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Let them heal up. The other day we were talking like it's like an Aston Martin. You know, you may not drive them every day, but you pull them out when you need them and when you want to show out a little bit.
Nah,
So-
for real.
They pull them out right before the playoffs, right? They kind of manage them a little differently during the regular season because they understand he doesn't have the type of body that can be driven that hard and still perform at his highest capacity on the back end when they need him.
Yep.
And so you have to figure out, when do you need Kawhi? We can talk about a million times, well, you know, everybody else has to play. And yeah, okay. Do you want to win or you don't want to win? You want to play him 60 games, he gets hurt, you don't have him in the playoffs. Right? It's Kawhi. So if you have a Kawhi, you got to take for what he is right now, this stage of his career. His knees are a little bit tender, a little delicate, got a lot of wear and tear.
Yep.
You can't drive him every day. Okay, it's not a thing of, is it fair? He's not going to make it a whole season with that much of wear and tear on his body. And so if you have that amount of potential within a snapshot of the season,
Yep.
you have to manage when you want to use that snapshot. And I think that what we're seeing is they're trying to figure out if we can manage him appropriately through the regular season, and then boom, use all of that opportunity for the postseason when it matters the most. And then maybe we have something. So, you know, hey,
Shout out to Ty Lue.
shout out.
I think the first 20, 30 games, Kawhi didn't play that much. Matter of fact, I don't think he played much at all.
Facts.
But the back end of the season, they slowly started progressing him in. And that's what made him be, how you call it, like an Aston Martin.
Right.
And so he is a sports car. You don't drive him all the time. You don't take road trips with him.
No.
But if it's strategically designed to get to a location fast and efficient, he's a smooth operator, just like that vehicle. And the playoffs is the perfect time where you can drive it.
Facts.
And right now, you're seeing Kawhi getting at about, I'd say about 97% of his full strength. And these next few days of him being able to rest before game one is going to be very, very good for him.
I agree.
And then shout out to James Harden. Man, James Harden is starting to look like Houston Rockets James Harden. He's starting to get his swag back.
And it's coming on at the right time.
It is.
It's
It
coming on
really
at the
is.
perfect time. They need him to cut on right now. They need him to find his groove right now. And so I like what I'm seeing. They got a good combination going on right now. They're both starting to take that step
Yep.
when it matters most. And people better watch out for the Clippers if they figure it out and stay consistent. Because not only do you have them two, you got Big Zoo. And Zubac been playing some good ball. You got
He ain't no pup no more. He a grown man now, dog.
and you
Still
got
balling, dog.
balling, man. And you got Norman Powell, who's a bucket.
That's another one that's a bucket,
Norman
dog.
Powell, who's a bucket.
Yep.
Okay, you got Dunn, who's a defensive guy, defensive specialist. You got my man that came from Dallas. That's a defensive guy. Long wing,
Yeah.
Jones. I forget his name. Okay, so they got some pieces. They got some pieces. They better watch out for the Clips. They on the way.
Yeah, Clippers gonna be nice, bro.
They on the way, man. They on the way. How you feel about Travis Hunter, man? You think he's being taken for granted?
You said what now?
I said, how you feel about Travis Hunter? You think he's been taken for granted?
Kind of, sorta. I think, you know, when it comes to durability in the game, it's gonna be tough to be able to, you know, play both sides of the ball for your entire career. But while he's young and then while he's fresh, they should allow to take advantage of his complete pure talent. Because when you take advantage of his complete pure talent, you're gonna get the best out of Travis Hunter, which is honestly, I feel like that's gonna translate well to the team too. The team is gonna need that. So, in my opinion, if you do that, you're gonna get the best out of Travis Hunter. Let him play wide receiver. Let him play cornerback as well. Allow for him to be a mad scientist, because here's another thing that's different about Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is the type, bro, where he actually studies the game at a young age. All he does is watch film, play football, play video games, fish, you know, etc. Obviously, he has other things he does in his life. But as far as like him not being too much into the party scene and stuff like that, where he can actually stay emotionally locked into the game, in my opinion, that's extremely important.
I agree. I think it doesn't happen until it happens.
Yep.
So anything that happens in life doesn't happen until it happens. And when we're at a state to where we're used to certain things happening or certain limitations, we're not going to know if it can be done until it's done. So give the guy an opportunity to see what he can do. It's a no-brainer. I think it's worth less conversation about all the what ifs. Roll him out there. See if he can perform at a high level and help your team on both sides. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about him just doing it for the sake of because he want to do it. We're talking about, can he impact your team greatly on both sides of the ball without a break? That's what we're asking. And so a lot of the conversation is all this opinion about ability. Don't worry about that. He's saying, hey, give me a shot. It's what I do. You get a talent. If you need a gap field on offense and defense, give him a shot. Your team is going to advance on both sides of the ball if he can do what he say he can do. If he can't do what he say he can do, your team's going to advance on one side of the ball.
Yep.
Either way, your team advances. And so a lot of the conversation is throwing a shadow on the fact that your team's going to advance regardless. So I would like a less conversation spent on can he not, more so on how great of a talent that is and what if he does. We've never seen that. How magnificent that would be. How game-changing that would be, right?
Yep.
But, yeah, give him a shot, man. See what he can do.
You talk about him being a game changer. That's the thing. He has that winner's mindset where if you need somebody to be a game changer in the game, to be able to shift the momentum of the team in the team's favor, he has that special skill set where he can do it on both sides of the ball.
100%.
Kind of like how you mentioned a couple weeks ago about, let's say he did kind of split being a receiver and being a cornerback, but you use him predominantly at cornerback. You put him in the red zone at receiver, and you let him catch some back shoulder fades. He's dangerous.
That's it.
It's either going to be he's going to catch it, or it's going to be defensive pass interference. Now you got first and goal. Because he's that X factor that can make that happen. So now you give your offense more chances. If it's on the defensive side, let's say he is in the red zone and you put him in there at cornerback in the red zone. He may just be the one that can help a team be forced to have to run the ball because they're so afraid that he can be like a velociraptor and come out of nowhere and end up intercepting that intercepting that football.
Come on now.
Very dangerous, bro.
Say it.
Very, very dangerous.
Super dangerous, man.
Yeah, dog. I see that kind of stuff, man. You talking about a very, very dangerous individual, bro, on both sides of the ball. And also, you know, obviously I don't think Travis Hunter is going he's not going anywhere past probably number 4 in the NFL draft. Nowhere past the Patriots.
That's fair.
Between the Titans, and I'll say that even though Cam Ward is quote unquote destined to go there, between the Titans, the Browns, the Giants, and the Patriots, he ain't going nowhere past there because he's that gifted because of the fact that you can play him on both sides. I know a lot of people talk about, well, is he a 1A wide receiver and a 1B corner, or is he a 1B corner and a 1B wide receiver? It's not going to matter. The thing is that he's a 1A if he plays both.
Yeah.
Period. I don't think they realize on how especially gifted he is, and I think it's just because he went to Colorado and he went to Jackson State, and they almost forgot. You know, he was the number 1 player coming out of high school.
Yeah.
That's another thing I don't think people recognize.
Hell no.
They don't realize that.
No.
Number 1 player coming out of high school, bro. So it's not a coincidence as to what he's doing right now.
1,000%.
And then, on top of that, what if he did go to like Miami, Florida State, Alabama? They'd be praising him. They would be praising him, and he would be probably unanimous number 1 pick.
Unanimous. It's like, exactly. Yeah, I mean, put him on defense, man. Have him a red zone package. Use him as your Swiss Army knife on offense. Easy. Put him on defense, keep him sharp.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Keep him sharp. Because on defense, you have to be sharp. You gotta keep your feet sharp. And you can train physicality-wise as a defender, and it can transfer easy to offense.
Yeah.
Okay. Offensive training is completely different than defensive training when it comes to DB wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Wide receivers, they train a lot of forward. Okay. Still training foot speed, explosiveness, all that type of stuff. But defensive backs not only have to train forward, they have to train backwards. And so if you train as a DB, you're not going to leave anything on the table when it comes to your training on the footwork and ability-wise for receivers. So he can train as a DB and play primarily, dominantly as a quarterback, play most snaps there. But then you got packages for him, different sets, right? And some games may call for higher usage of Travis Hunter on offense.
Because he's that good.
Right? I mean, some guys, you look at Dallas Cowboys when they had Ezekiel Elliott, or I look at the Detroit Lions and the way they use David Montgomery. He's a red zone specialist. We get in the red zone, David Montgomery gonna get the first crack at it.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell has shown that. We get in that red zone, hey, big dog gonna get his shot. We feed him first. All right? And he wind up. And that's why they have such a hell of a tandem, because you'll have Gibbs who have a touchdown or 2 and over 100 all-purpose yards, receiving and running. You have David Montgomery who have maybe 65 rushing yards and 2-3 touchdowns. Right?
No, for real.
They play the same position.
Yep.
How do you make space for that much productivity at one position? And that's the thing. They're not looking at how creative you can be when you have a gadget, a new gadget. We talk about Deebo Samuels as a gadget. Christian McCaffrey arguably is like a gadget, right? He's a guy you can put anywhere all over the field, right? He can catch the ball, he can run it, you can line him up in the slot, right? You got a gadget in Travis Hunter, man. And the packages are endless on offense. I shouldn't even think they should be even thinking about that. Like, hey, man, put them on defense. Let them shut down teams. Let them be a lockdown corner. Let them train and practice there. Let them have that Deion swag. And then on offense, use them. Use them. Use them.
You can use him at all.
Use them. Red zone.
Use him. Yes. It don't matter if
use them.
Man.
Fourth and short, use them.
You can use him in the outs at the wide out, the Y, the X, the Z. It don't matter.
Come on.
Because he can run the whole route tree. That's the thing.
You're down by a couple touchdowns. It's offensive heavy. Use them.
Yes.
First and 10, first quarter of the game. Second, no, he don't need to be out there for that. Third, you know what I'm saying? Not when you need him, use him. But it's better to have and not need than to what? Need and not have.
Yes. Facts, bro. You ain't lying. For real, because imagine you have your star wide receiver, Malik Neighbors. Yeah. But all of a sudden, he's getting locked down. You literally can just be like, oh, say, Trav, hey, can you help him out, dog? Get on the other side, bro. We're going to spread this field out. Now we got a running game.
Come on, bro.
Now we got a running game.
Come on, dog.
Just because he gets out there, that presence alone.
Come on now.
Cleveland, we're doing good on defense.
Now you got a running game.
You feel me?
Now you open up your running game.
You feel me? Oh, Cleveland. Oh, dang. So we can't. We're doing so great on defense because we've always had a good defense. Travis, you're doing good, but you know what, dog? We got to get some points on the board. Get on offense real quick. We need a splash play. Bam. There he goes. Patriots. Man, we're doing good on defense as well. Man, but you know what? Drake May, that's our franchise quarterback. We got to get his numbers up. We got to get him some more playmakers. Say, Trav. We need you, dog.
Say, Trav.
Bruh. And you know what? It even comes down to this. What if it's at the end of the game? He's such a gifted athlete. You can put him on kick return and punt return. He's that gifted. It all depends on what you literally want to do with his usage, bro. But he can literally do anything. That's a different type of athlete. Different type of athlete, bro. Whenever he can literally do literally everything and don't get tired. That's the thing. Travis Hunter don't get tired, bro. He don't even get tired doing what he does.
But, you know, the thing about it is like, can he stay healthy? You know, wind is one thing. Now that's the alternative argument, which I completely understand. Conditioning is one thing, and I think his conditioning is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
However, wear and tear on the professional level, when you have grown men who've been lifting weights for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they ain't just been up through high school with a good program, college with a good program, field house, taking it light. No. These grown men have been lifting weights professionally, paid to do it 7 to 8, 10 years, 15 years post coming out of college. And so with a smaller frame, I think the test of time will be, can he also handle the punishment that will be delivered from making the tackle and being at the bottom of that pile when your LBs come and jump on it? And when the D tackle come in out of nowhere, stumbling and bumbling and fall on it, fall on your leg, fall on your ankle, fall on your back. Because defense is a different game, right? And then you go on offense and you come across and you get cut, helicopter, because the target's on your back, because nobody wants you to prove that you can do it. They go, oh yeah, okay, Trav, you think you can do that? All right. I'm not even worried about what's going to happen over here. I'm coming straight at number. Wham! Mm-hmm. Just to show them, take that. Can you take unnecessarily harsher punishment for the fact of how much attention you're garnering by just being on the field? And so I think that is an alternative argument that does carry the most weight for me, is less of can he and more of is it wise for him to? Is it necessary for him to? When we all pick a position, we all give up a little bit of that love of the sport in us because we grow up playing everything. You grow up playing basketball, you play the position, you play the point guard, you shoot, you play the center, it don't matter, right? You just playing ball, right? When you play football, what you out there doing? You out there toting the rock, you out there throwing it, you out there tackling, you out there catching it. You're an athlete. Mm-hmm. And naturally, we all never want to give that up. But at some point in time, we all see a natural kind of positioning happening. So I think using him for a slightly extended amount of plays above and beyond what we see generally being done, however that number of plays is somebody normally plays as a starter, maybe giving him a third more of that, but making sure that it's balanced across both sides of the field. So he's not getting that unnecessary, maybe unrealistic amount of damage done to one's body. And that's the only thing I can see that would get in the way of that thing happening. But to your earlier point about him being young, while you're young, you can really get away with a lot of things you can't when you get older. So maybe 2-3 year window, he can get out there and take some beating and deliver some blows and do his thing, bounce back up and heal fast. Maybe he got something different in him. And I think that's what's so exciting about seeing it. It's like the what if he does. That what if. We love talking about what if he don't. Woo! But everybody's kind of that excitement of what if he does.
That's the mystery
That'd be really cool.
that I'm talking about. That I'm very intrigued on, because I was like, man. Now, there's one thing that I did hear Deion Sanders speak on. You can't just hit the receivers no more. And I think the reason why is because they're paying them too much. Just like you can't hit the quarterbacks. They're paying them too much. So, beginning of his career, because you're all right, his frame's a little small, a little Gumby light. He do got a little country strength in him. But him still being young, he's only going to fill out that frame a little bit more.
Yep.
So I think in the meantime, what would be wise for a NFL team to do, whoever picks him, whoever drafts him, let him play wide receiver a little bit more than corner until he can get his frame a little bit stronger. You know, you put him in situations where, you know, second and longs, third and longs, or third and shorts. You go ahead and put him in there. You let him do his thing. Fourth downs, let him be in there. First downs, honestly, not as much. Try to see if you can only let him come in there on second and longs. Notice how I say second and longs, so not second and shorts. Second and longs or third downs, where he can be a complete game changer if needed. Because he could be the one that stops you on third down, or he can be the one that can actually be a momentum shifter and pick you off on second and long. One of those two like that. Obviously, fourth down, I say automatically have him in there if it's something where the offense has to be in a passing situation. If it's a fourth and short and it's a tush push or something like that, of course you don't have Travis Hunter. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But anything where it has to be a throwing threat for the offense to be able to get to a first down or to score a touchdown, T. Hunter got to be in there, dog.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
That's what I think. No, 100%. Who's number 5? Who holds the number 5 pick?
I think Jacksonville. Yeah, I think Jacksonville's number 5.
I'll give you my top 4 right now. My top 4, I think I like Shedeur Sanders at either New York or the Steelers. I think those are really good fits. On paper, we don't know until they get there. I think top 4, I think you go Cam at number 1.
Okay.
I think Shedeur goes to Cleveland.
Okay.
I think Travis to New York. Abdul Carter to the Patriots.
Okay. I like that.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't see Cleveland passing up on a Shedeur Sanders when they need a quarterback, unless they're going to gamble on Deshaun Watson and Kenny Pickett. But if part of their negotiation with Myles Garrett was that he wanted a Super Bowl winning quarterback, he didn't say he wanted a protege. He said, I'll stay. You give me a quarterback. Kenny Pickett ain't moving the needle.
Nope.
Deshaun coming off of the second injury ain't moving the needle. Didn't want to get hit before. You're not going to come back and want to get hit again.
I feel bad
for writing Deshaun off, though.
Yeah.
I still like his talent.
I love his talent.
I hope he does well.
Me too. But security-wise, I feel you. And if Myles Garrett, they paid Myles Garrett all that money, they clearly got to be wanting to invest in his opinion as well, for him to stay there. Because you don't want it to be chaos if they don't pick up their quarterback or get the quarterback they want all of a sudden now, even though he got his money. I don't want to say he pulls a Deshaun Watson on you, but his lack of motivation just ain't going to be there because he's like, well, I mean, I appreciate the money, but y'all know I'm still trying to win. And if I'm going to invest, I've invested in y'all. Y'all got to at least invest in what I'm asking for because it's more than money. I still want to win. That's the reason why I wanted to leave, because I wanted to win. Yeah, I want to get paid, but I want to win. And I appreciate y'all giving me money, but I still want to win. So to your point, that could be a situation where, yeah, maybe Shedeur does go number 2. And you know what? If anybody, tricky, it's not like Cleveland don't got talent on their team.
I've been saying that. I've been talking to people. I'm like, listen,
dog.
Cleveland is 1-2 steps away now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, if Jameis You take 5 throws back from Jameis Winston, Cleveland's in the playoffs, and they're scary.
Very.
Jameis Winston showed Cleveland has scary potential because they almost beat some teams they shouldn't have. And it wasn't like they barely won.
Shador got that IQ that I think is a little bit more advanced than what people give him credit for, where it's actually more NFL ready because he played in a pro-style offense up under Pat Shurmur, who used to be a coach in the NFL. That's just a different game changer. So he's been in a pro-style offense, not like, oh, can we see? Can you run? Can you run a pro-style? Can you do up under center? Up under center doesn't necessarily mean pro-style. Okay, last time I checked, they do have wing tees back in the day and all that kind of stuff, I formation. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's pro-style. But the route trees that he's used to, the tight windows that he's used to adjusting to, that makes it a pro-style offense. So what does that mean? That translates over into the NFL, and he's already gonna have a solid tight end in Njoku. So I like that. I love that good security blanket. Every quarterback should have that.
Come on now.
Well, Lamar Jackson, we had Mark Andrews. Obviously, he says Mark Andrews, but having Mark Andrews was the security blanket that he needed. Every quarterback has that. Whenever you have that, that literally is a game changer. Cam Newton, whenever he had Greg Olsen. Obviously, he had Smitty, but he had Greg Olsen too. Security blanket. Those security blankets are just very unique. Tony Romo, we had Jason Witten. Security blanket. Like, those security blankets are just so good. So to be able to have that, and for him to be able to go to Cleveland where they already have a good defense, so what does that mean? They're going to give you more chances, dog, on offense.
That's what I'm saying.
They're going to give you more chances. And Shador's the type where he's going to sit in that pocket. He's going to sit in that pocket, and you know what? It's like, I know people thinking, oh, he's throwing his receivers late. No, he is surgical in the pocket, bro. Extremely surgical. So if you give him any little bit of time, and then I also seen how they got Joe Flacco out there. Good.
Oh, they did bring Joe Flacco back.
But good. Mentor Shador. Mentor Shador, or
well, why get Kenny Pickett? That's such a crowded room now.
It's a crowded room, but I think since Kenny Pickett's he's still a baby, kind of.
Still learning, yeah.
He's still learning. And so you have a learning quarterback with your star quarterback, with your veteran quarterback that can nurture both of them.
Yeah.
The star quarterback is ready to play, but the veteran
Flacco
quarterback.
For a year, nurture both his youngsters, Flacco out, move on from Watson, Shador, Pickett, bring in another guy, safety blanket. Come on. It's hard for me to see Cleveland passing up on that. It's hard for me to see it. I mean, unless they want to roll the dice on Watson. But that's a sleeper. I mean, you talk about that, he can do something like what Jaden Daniels did with Washington. They were a piece away, and they got a hell of a piece. He electrified that team.
Man.
He electrified that team. And that's the thing about you said about the defense. When you know you got a dynamic thing going on offense, it electrifies you. You want to get the ball back to them.
Yeah.
Right? Man. Yeah.
It does, dog. I see those things, man. I'm like, look.
That's tough. How you pass upon Travis Hunter?
And that's the thing, like, I think Cleveland
They keep talking about
has the 33rd pick in the second round. Last time I checked, there's 32 teams.
Yeah.
They'll have the number 1 overall pick in the second round. They could go get a very good athletic wide receiver in the second round.
I think so.
They really could, or a really good running back. The only reason I'm saying that is because their defense is good enough right now where they can go shopping on offense all draft. Dog.
They could. They really could.
And if you get Shador right there, who's to say that maybe you may be able to trade that second round pick to a team in the first round? That way you could possibly get whatever dynamic athlete that you're looking for to complement Shador on offense as well. Like, seriously, you could do that. Because there's a lot of stud athletes that are coming out, bro. And I'm thinking, man, you know, honestly, they should try to go. I still want to see Jimmy Horn. I want to see Jimmy Horn. Wherever Shador goes, I want to see Jimmy Horn with him, bro.
I do too.
I want to see that happen. And Cleveland actually be pretty good.
That's what I'm saying.
Seriously.
That's what I'm saying. And so we're looking at Cleveland up there. We're like, oh, yeah, they suck. No, they hey.
No, they don't.
You wasn't watching them games.
You would not.
You wasn't watching them games. They was competing.
There's a reason why they was in every single game they played. They only lost maybe 5-10 points.
Come on now.
And that's just from a lack of what I like to say, offensive production.
Composure, yeah.
That's all it is, bro.
The last final critical moments, man.
Yep.
And the defense will get it back to their hands, back to their hands, back to their hands.
For real.
That's a sleeper, man. You know, if Cleveland fills that gap, that's the thing. Unless they veto it and say that they don't want to go to Cleveland, it's not a bad spot. It's not a big market, but I think he can have quick, immediate success.
Shedeur gets into Cleveland, it's going to turn into a big market.
It's going to turn into a big market. Now, look at this. You got Jeremy Jeudy. You got Cedric Tillman, who's got 6'5".
Cool.
You got
that is right. That is right. Big market. There's going to be more athletes that want to go
you
there.
got freaking what's his name that's been there forever, played the slot super fast, run like a 4-4.
Yep.
4-3.
I can't think of his name, but I know who you're talking about though.
So anyway, then you got the tight end, Njoku.
Man.
Come on, man.
Man, say.
Elijah Moore. That's what I'm thinking about. Speedster. Elijah Moore.